Every car needs floor mats. If you don't have floor mats, you're crazy because your car is just gonna get insanely dirty. Floor mats can be expensive. So what I did before I got my Model 3 was I looked all over for the least expensive floor mats I could find that were also still good, and I think I found them. They are really competitive with ones that just include for the front and the back, but includes everything. So we're gonna go over what it has for the frunk, the sub trunk, the trunk, and of course inside of the seats. I really have no complaints about them. I don't know why more people haven't bought these ones when they're less expensive than the other ones. Probably because they're marketed better. But these ones are awesome. I have a 2023 Tesla Model 3. I believe these mats fit anything from 2017 and up. So as long as your Model 3 is around 2017 and up, we'll have to check the website. I have that linked in the description below the like button. But give that a check, and you can watch my review on these floor mats. Or if you just want to watch to see how floor mats would fit in your car, that's good too. We're first going to start out with the frunk. This is what the floor mat looks like. It goes basically the whole way. There's a little bit of not perfect fitment right here. You can see it kind of moves around when I push it, but it's not too bad. It basically covers the entire frunk, has a little bit of a lip. So if you have anything that kind of spills a little bit, you should be okay. This is what it looks like from the back, and this is for the tow hook. So if we remove this, we can see it's basically as good as new. Nothing ever happened. You have your tow hook in here. That's pretty much it for this one. It's pretty simple, and it'll just lay down. You can see that there's a tag back here, but that easily just folds down and you don't even know it's there. So that is the one for my frunk. Next we have the passenger seat. Do not mind the bear, but the passenger seat has gotten pretty beaten up. It has done pretty well, it seems, at protecting the floor, hopefully, right? Because all of this is surface level, it's just on here. You can see that there are these grooves in each of them, and that there is dirt inside of the grooves. So that's just something to note. I believe all floor mats have this kind of groove. I don't know exactly why it is. Maybe it's to channel the dirt, because you can see it kind of bunches up down at the bottom here, which is good if you have like wet feet. It'll go down here. You can see that there's a bit of a lip right here, which is good. It goes along the back here as well. So you have this whole lip, and it goes around this side also. And so that means like if your feet are wet or anything, it should stay contained inside of here. Now there's an issue that I have with this front passenger side one. And the issue, well, there's two. The issue, the main one, is that I wish this went up a little bit more. You can't really see it on camera, but it's a little bit dirty on the carpet right here. So if it would have went up a little bit more, that would be awesome. Though I feel like there's another product, like a kick pad or something, that could go here. Not really a fault on the floor mat, but for this one right here, it's a little bit bent inwards, as you can see. I'm not exactly sure why. I think if I push it in and kind of stick it behind this trim, it fixes it. Though I don't think I should have to do that. But even if I do, it works pretty well. It fits very well. It doesn't really move. So if I try to move it back and forth, it's not really moving. It stays in there pretty well. So I took out the floor mat, placed it upside down right here, and a lot of dirt came off. I'll do a little wash at the end of this after we check out all of the different floor mats, but everything kind of bunched up in the middle again. It's good at keeping everything centered here, which is awesome. Now, if we flip it over, you can see that there's these little black dots right here. And these, I believe, help with keeping it in place because they have a rubber texture to them. So I'm guessing that it really holds it in place when they go into here. Looking back down here, you can see that there's little like pieces of debris inside of here, but this is all easily vacuumable. So we can just vacuum this, and it looks like it got in around like the edges. So that's not too much of a problem because the carpet still looks brand new. Now let's take a look at the driver's side. Looking at the driver's side, it's a lot dirtier because it's obviously used a lot more. Now this one is pretty interesting. I haven't seen all floor mats have this go all the way up. So I'm really happy that this one goes all the way up. I can put my foot here, I have no problem with it. You can see again, a lot of the dirt has centered in the middle, which is great. It has this lip that goes along here, so it'll help keep any kind of like dirtiness, like muddiness inside the floor mat, and won't splash onto the sides, which is great. Now you can see there's like rocks and stuff inside of here. Maybe if this went up a little bit more, it would be perfect, but this is still already good enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this off, dump it out, and we'll look underneath for this one as well. So these are pretty easy to take out. I didn't show it with that one, but all you really have to do is just, you can lift the seat back or move the seat back if you want better clearance, but it's kind of just pulling it up and out like this. So pulling it up and then slowly lifting it out so none of the dirt falls off and into your car and out like this. And now it's out of my car. So I can just dump it like this. We'll place this down right here. Still, you can notice the little rubber dots here. And looking underneath here, there's some debris along the side right here, but that's pretty much it. The carpet is protected, and I'll take a vacuum and clean that all up. I used this small vacuum cleaner and just really quickly went along all of this, and I got most of everything out. Pretty good at protecting from not just like dirt, but small stuff, keeping it out of your cabin and on the floor mat itself. One thing that I wish was better about these, because I wish this lip kind of extended up more here. There are some scuff marks and dirt along here that would have been prevented if this went up to here. And I noticed that sometimes I lean my foot against here, so if there was a lip here, it would have been perfect. And that's pretty much it. More of a raised lip there, but again, kicker panels on here is a totally different product. Now, my back seats have taken a bit of a beating. You can see that there's a lot of dirt on this side, some dirt on this side, mostly on here. But that probably means there has been a person right here who's been very dirty, which is great. So we can see how well these floor mats stood up. First thing, there are a few things I do not like about this back one that I absolutely hate. One is this lip right here. You can see it doesn't go up very far. It could go up farther. There's a whole lot of clearance right here for it to go up farther along this edge. Another thing is you can see that there's so much stuff up here, and that's because these floor mats fail with the lip up here. It's so tiny. Why is it so small? It's allowing so much stuff to just fly forward, especially when I park on a slope or something. It's just going forward like that. So much dirt. These ones are pretty bad. You can see right here, there's not even a lip at all. So if you have passengers that sit here, put their feet under here, everything is just gonna get stuck inside of here. Let's pull this off and see how bad it really is underneath. To pull it out, I just bent this forward, kind of pulled it from underneath the seat. I'm gonna do the same thing with these as well. It's kind of hard to show on camera since I only have one hand, but I'm really just bending this forward. That wire's for something else. And then this one, I'm gonna do the same thing, where I attempt to bend it forward. I don't want to do the same thing, the technique that I used for the first one, which is like pulling it back, because I don't want too much dirt to fly forward. But if your seats are far back and you don't want to move them up, that's kind of the only way you can do it. So I raised it a little bit by pulling it up like this, and hopefully that gives me a little bit better clearance to pull this out. And it does. So pull that out, everything looks good, and now I'm just going to slide it out of the car. So yes, this is underneath the front seat, and you can see a lot of stuff has made its way down here because the floor mats kind of failed to do their job in that regard. But in the sense of keeping the carpets clean, of course nothing passed through. It was really good, and it held on to the floor very well. Whenever someone sat back here, same thing with the other ones, they're great at holding their grip. You don't have to pay so much just for some superior grip strength. The trunk is not a great example for me because I never use it. See all those blankets and stuff up there? I usually have it laying down here as a form of bed, just for relaxing and laying down whenever I'm in my car, because I actually spend a lot of time tripping, traveling, and just seeing things in this car. So this is not a great example, but it does have some small stuff here. No dirt or anything, but we'll see how well it kept it off the carpet and on here, because the difference with this one is that these raised edges are super low, right? You can see that they don't go up as far as the other ones. The one up there does, but this is just probably to cover, there's a little bump right here that I'll show, probably, I think it's for the tire, but otherwise it looks pretty good. Now, an issue with this that can be an issue is the sub-trunk. So this pull tab down here, it's not as easily accessible to get to as if it was just without this. It's still pretty easy to get to though. It's still right here. You can just pull up on it. One thing I found kind of difficult is when you pull up and then you push it back down, it doesn't sit all the way flat, as you can see. So you'll have to like push it down to make sure to get it tight, or if you have something on it, it should push it down, you'll have no problem, but that's just something to note. One thing I don't like is that the floor mats, they stop right here, and the company doesn't have anything to go on the back seats. You can see my back seats are just naked. It's the regular carpet. So it would be nice if this like extended, or if they had another option that you can add on that goes on the back, but I haven't found anything yet for that. But this is the trunk one. If we lift up just the floor mat part, we can see underneath the carpet is brand new. So nothing is wrong here. Again, not a great example because I never really use back here for anything other than a bed. I always use my frunk, and as you saw earlier, the frunk is pretty clean. Now let's look at the sub trunk. An easy way I found to pull this one out is if you have nothing on it, you can bend it like towards the middle and slowly pull it out. You just want to be careful because the top part is a part that has a very small lip. So if you have any dirt on it, it might slide forward. So just be aware of that. So you're just going to want to fold up and in like a butterfly, and then you could just empty whatever is on it by giving it a good slap or a vacuum. And then it's just super easy to put back in. All you have to do is lay it down and fit it onto the grooves. You can see this groove right here. You're going to want to fit it onto here. There's a little bit of a section that you can get around there, and this one looks like it has fallen into place pretty nicely as well. So all of them fit in pretty nicely, and now let's go to the sub trunk. Had to clear out some junk that was in my sub trunk. Usually don't keep any of that in there. So the sub trunk is typically empty, and I use this really for anything. If I'm traveling, if I have any bags or anything that don't fit in the frunk, usually for me and at least one other person, they'll fit down here. So sub trunk is super good. I love how you can like position this here, hold it up. The only thing is that with this floor mat right here, you can't really position it up without angling it and getting rid of some of the clearance here. I guess you can. I guess you could stick it on there. Or because I have a hook right there for like bags and stuff that I 3D printed, it can go like this. But otherwise you might have some trouble. So just be aware that you might be giving up some clearance reaching in here and grabbing stuff. So for this, it's pretty simple. It's the same kind of design. It's got these little grooves right here. So I guess all the dirt and stuff can get trapped in here. It's got a lip, which is pretty nice. This one's pretty good. Let's just shake this off. Pretty simple. Nothing down here. We can see it did a job very well. It's got these little raised parts on the side right here, so that slots in pretty perfectly. And that's pretty much it for the sub trunk. Let's lay this back down flat. It's kind of an issue because of this one up here. It keeps getting caught on something, but that laid down pretty well. Just be aware of this tag as well. Might start coming up, so you can either cut it, maybe staple it down. Now to clean these, apparently it's really simple. We'll check back in a second, but all you should do is have a hose and spray it down. And you can see a lot of the dirt has already come off. You can see the water is like beating down, which is great. It doesn't like stick to the mat. And I'll clean the other ones and show you the after results. Hosing it down definitely cleaned it off. However, it didn't get all of it off. You can see that there is still dirt that is noticeable on there. However, it's not like caked on there. And all I did was spray this. If you add some soap, scrub it even just a little bit, it's perfect. I'm leaving these out to dry in the sun a little bit, and a lot of the water is already gone. You can still see some of the dirt, you know, still on there. All I'm gonna do now is take an ordinary towel and just absorb some of the water and put it back in. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy to put back in, so I'm not gonna record that. If you have any questions, you can leave them, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Again, just kind of a recap. The frunk one, great. The trunk one, great. The sub trunk one, great. The front two, great. Hate this middle one. If I had one recommendation, I wish this lip was higher. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.